It's Mary Beckman from Metaphysical Meltdown. Thanks so much for showing up today. This is a special week. I've got lots of really cool people. And since you're here, I know why you're here. You're here to ask Kate Moriah questions, but I'm gonna give you some propaganda. And as you know me, my propaganda is always about you and standing up for yourself and healing and all that kind of stuff. So it's not the bad stuff, it's the good stuff. So the awesome people that we have on this week, okay, first Kate, then tomorrow is Joseph Amoroso, who has the Archangel calendar. He's a pretty cool guy, so I can't wait to talk to him. He's from back east. And then Taylor and Roy from the Reiki Ranch near Chehalis, Washington. And they are going to talk about their product line. They have an awful lot of natural healing products that they're so knowledgeable, and they're all about healing. They're really fascinating people and very inspiring. And so they'll talk about their program and their beautiful ranch they live on and just general awesomeness. I love those guys. And then Thursday, it's all about the ghosties with Seth Michael. And so he is a ghost hunter and has produced a movie. And so I want to talk a lot about that movie because I got to see it on its birth night. And it was really great. I was part of the Oregon Ghost Conference last year. And so I was a vendor and was supposed to actually be a speaker this year, but of course we didn't have it. So I'm hoping that they'll invite me back. If anybody's watching, please invite me back. And so we'll have Seth. And then the following week, in fact, the following weeks, we have all kinds of cool people from around the world and around the block. I just decided I'm going to pull on my big girl pants and I'm going to ask people that I never think are going to be here. And people have just been saying yes all over the place. So could be a little bit of boredom. Could also be that they can feel that I hold them in love. And so I'm doing nothing but that today for my friend Kate Moriah, who is an awesome psychic, medium, teacher. She's so many things, and we're just going to ask her to talk about her because it's a lot better that way. So lovely Kate, take it away.
Hey, Mary.
Hey.
Hey, I'm so excited to be chatting with you today. This is so fun. It's so fun already.
It is. It absolutely is. I just want people to know what you've been doing lately.
Oh, I've been a busy little bee lately. Honestly, ever since the whole global circumstance has shifted, as far as that we've been aware of, I've felt completely activated, and so I've been a busy little bee. So what have I been working on? What I've been doing is I've been focusing a lot on more empath education as far as like the content material that I put out, because I have the Facebook page, I do the daily channeled messages, I do the YouTube videos, I even do like the monthly full moon live stream answering questions, and then the monthly crystal pick. And so that's what I was focusing on. That's my majority of the time. But recently it's actually shifted. I started doing a live event, a course over multiple days called Creating Certainty in an Uncertain World. And really what this is, and I'm excited because I suspect, I have an inkling that we actually might start covering some of this ground, is it has everything to do with stepping into our power, stepping into our certainty, right? And utilizing our own sovereignty in order to create that safety and that security within this physical world. Because there's so much that's changing. So much that is just transforming and amalgamizing and shifting right now. So there's a lot going on. So, whenever we reach out to hold on to something to brace ourselves, it's better if we anchor in. That's what I've been focusing on.
Oh my gosh. And it's true, because if you just observe, if you go out in the world and just observe what people are doing, I love to do that because I scroll on Facebook in the morning when I get up. It's kind of a wake up for me. And I see people saying, oh, I just went to the Winco, and people were so negative and they were saying stuff to people, blah, 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 blah. I have been to the store once a week ever since it started, whenever the heck it was. I have never seen that. I've never. Okay, so I kind of am in a bunch of dimensions anyway. So I noticed the other day, my husband was never on the same lane at the store as I was. And I was collecting up my stuff, and then I would see him on the opposite end. I was like, what in the heck is that? Yeah. And then somehow or another, it came into my consciousness that you were supposed to go a certain way. I didn't know that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I saw this guy, I wrote about this on Facebook because it just blew my mind, because it was such a great example of how we're all in, different timelines, is that this young man and his little kid were at this store up by my house, and usually you can always take a piece of produce. They'll always let you. They'll give you a little, it's just all about the produce at that place. You can take a little bite. So he was asking the checker, where's the free stuff? And the checker said, well, since this has been going on, we haven't done that. And he goes, what's going on? And he wasn't being a stinker. He wanted to know what's going on. And I went,
bless your heart.
yeah. And I went, there it is. Because truly we're creating our very own reality. And maybe because my life is fairly at my house anyway, I don't know, maybe I'm boring. But I'm thankful that my reality hasn't changed because I have not lost anybody close in. I've known people that have had the C and the V and the P. Okay. But what I'm saying is there's some different realities now, and boy, are we learning from that. So my question is, my first off question, and people are going to start popping in now. So the people that are saying hi and sending you love are Lola.
Hi, Lola.
Barbara, yeah, Deb, Karen. Let's see, Nancy. Nancy Congleton, whole different entity. And Anne, my beloved Anne, and then Paula.
Hi, Paula. Hi, guys.
Lizzie and Edie, Marcia, Kelly Herbert, Sandy, Nancy with an I, or Nancy Drew. Everybody, Nancy Drew is going to be on. She's coming up, which is going to be awesome. And Tina and Nick. So everybody, if you have a question for this beautiful woman here, Kate, please to put your question in here and we can ask her. But, you know, again, the propaganda, so I got to go through my questions too.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's talk about stuff, Mary. Yeah.
Let's talk about it. I just want people to know this first. This is my first thing on the list. Kate is the one that named me the rock and roll psychic. So I don't know if you remember that. I remember, this has been quite a few years. I remember coming to her and saying, you know what? I think I've got to have a name. Everybody's got a name. I don't have a name. And I thought, I like tofu. I'm an antiques person. You know, I got a dog. I don't know what to call myself. And she says, I'll sit with it for a minute. She came up with the rock and roll psychic. So the last person who was on board about that, because I was instantly on board, was my husband. He goes, why do you want to be the rock and roll psychic? And I says, well, just because of who I am.
Yeah.
Well, why? With it, you know, it's always been about the rock and roll. So I just thank you for that, because I got right into that. And if I could have had some music for you, I had Hot Rod Lincoln we were listening to for a second.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I want to get all into what's been going on, but can you say your background just a slight bit and what you've been doing recently, because you did a move?
Yes, I did. So background as far as my work, or just what's going on in my world, or all of you above?
What did you do before this?
So I was doing a little bit of everything. I had a smattering of accessibility and availability. I was doing the psychic fairs. I was running that circuit for a while, over a number of years. I was doing one-on-one sessions. I'm still doing one-on-one sessions, except they're not doing them in person anymore. I have released my office in Linwood, so I'm no longer in Linwood. And I am now in the sunny city of Tacoma, which honestly, I love it so much. It's so funny whenever I tell people I moved to Tacoma. It's been like mixed reviews. I am so in love with this place. Everyone has been so friendly and so welcoming and so warm, like, you know, considering the distance, considering the situation, but I really enjoyed settling in here. So now everything that I'm doing, it's all online. It's via Zoom, Skype, telephone, and just, you know, webinars, live streams, that kind of a thing is what I'm doing now. Online courses. Like I mentioned, I just released the Creating Certainty course, and there's going to be more there. Mary, I have so much. I have so much that I want to teach. I want to teach people like systems. I want to teach them how to get like from point fatigue to point empowered. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to bring them through that process, because we all have it. We all have it within us. You know, I might be fun to be around, but like, I'm not special. Like I just happened to figure it out of necessity, right? Like I had a lot of challenges and blocks and issues and just areas of density and resistance within my life. And it was through that seeking that I was able to figure out just like processes and systems to like open up and expand and understand and tap into. And now it's like, this is why I love these kinds of exchanges, like interviews like this, where we don't really have anything prepared. It's more of a freestyle, because I feel like when you move through the world in an open state like that, just so much more comes through.
Yeah.
abundance and inspiration and opportunity, like so much more comes through. And just because we're in a heavy time right now, right? This is a dense time. We're in the washing machine. Everything's getting shaken up and shaken out, and some stains are rising to the surface. You know what I mean? We're in this time together, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we need to step out of our empowerment, or that we're at the mercy of something outside of ourselves. Like, actually, this is the time where we are all being called to action, and that action is to connect within ourselves and find out, what do we have to offer? What are we working with? Why are we even here? What do we have to bring through? And how can we connect that into the network, right? How can we connect that into everything else that's going on here, and also honoring our multi-dimensional presence? So there's a lot of stuff to consider. I totally feel like I derailed from your question. It's hard for me to talk about my own life, because I feel like my life is to consider all this big stuff that's happening. Did I answer your question?
You did. And please, let's not tell anybody about how cool Tacoma is. We don't want any more people to move here. But the vibration is very lovely. There's people who came lots long before me that worked an awful lot on getting the vibration here really great. Really great. So I'm just happy to have you, because now I have somebody to play with here in Tacoma. I have a friend a little past Gig Harbor, and I've got friends in Gig Harbor and friends now in the South End, and I just really appreciate the South End, even though I do miss my North End buddies. Which is that at the fair. So Booming Eye is your business, right? Because people see that behind you.
Yes, so Booming Eye Healing Art. So if you want to check me out, my website is boomingeye.com. I do a lot on social media. So I'm on Instagram just about every single day, bringing through a channeled message. I do one-on-one sessions. Some people work with me frequently. Some people just, one and done. I always defer to, how do you feel attracted, right? How do you feel compelled to reach out? How do you feel curious? So I always defer to other people's intuition. If you feel curious, if you have something going on in your life and you just want to like dip your toe in and see what it's like to move through that, work together, or if this is something that you're working on, big projects, big transformations within your life, and we can work together more frequently. So I do that in one-on-one sessions, and then more honestly, there's been a lot more like interviews and podcasts that's been coming up lately, because I think a number of reasons. A lot of people are getting creative, right? They're really like digging into their own projects, case in point. And there's also this opportunity, right? This is a time where, because so much is changing, everyone is just, they're so thirsty for knowledge. They're so thirsty to like learn and understand more, and just learn like not just the semantics and idiosyncrasies of like a topic, but this is a time of expansion, right? Like learning new ideas and new concepts, and that includes some really abstract ideas as well. And this is awesome because it all supports like whatever you want to call it, the greater awakening or the great remembering, or this process of ascension, elevation, expansion. I like to call it evolution.
All beautiful words. I've been getting that greater good, greater good. I just posted something about that today, because the reason why I want to do these podcasts is there are so many people that really inspire me right now. Absolutely. There's a lady on right now I want to say hi to. In fact, there's two of them that inspire me an awful lot. Maureen Brennan Mercier. She was my Reiki master all those years ago. And every time I do Reiki classes, I mention her name because she is so special. We're hoping that Maureen will come on. She has an interesting way of looking at things. And then the other person is Amanda Lawrence, a lady I've been getting up with at 3 a.m. our time in Tacoma for the last 9 weeks. And it's been the best thing that I've done, I tell you. So 9 weeks. 3 a.m., 9 weeks. That's the biggest energy I've ever felt. She says it's going to come in, and it's all about love. So thank you, Amanda, for checking us out. So what I believe about love is it's the highest frequency on earth, and it goes over anything else. It makes anything else happen. So we're just going to hold love, aren't we, everybody?
Yeah. Honestly, it's the only thing in my experience as Kate incarnate, and as my experience on a soul level, that is the only thing I've ever found to be true. And I've also been, there's those of us that work within the light realm, right? There's those of us that work with masters and guides and angels, or whatever you want to call it. And then there are those that are aiming to, as they put it, like escape the God matrix, right? Like to ascend or move beyond that. And again, I always refer back to like, I always use my arm as an example, like we are a multi-dimensional presence, right? We exist in multiple dimensions at once. And I feel that no matter where you're feeling called, who you are working with, or where you're feeling yourself guided or led, it's actually all part, it's like all cogs are turning in the same machine. Do you know what I mean? Like we're all part of the oneness. And to me, the way that I understand that oneness is unconditional love. It's a frequency. It's like a certain flavor, right? It's like you never forget it. You never forget what it tastes like. You never forget what it feels like. That's, to me, that's the truth. Yeah.
It is the truth. I had a problem come up the other day and I sat with it for about a week. And finally I said to my husband, I just don't know what to do. And he said, why don't you do the lovingest, kindest thing you can do? And I went, where did that come from?
Well done, Tom.
Little man, where did that come from? And I know we're together for that because he just distills everything down and hands it back. And sometimes he pops off with this metaphysical stuff. I know he's messing with me, but he really is taking it in, and I applaud him. The other person I want to say hi to is my dear Paula Simone, who's watching. I call her teacher and or grandma. She's a friend of mine, and she's very, very, very special, and I love you. And yes, absolutely. There's Paula, Pamela, Harmony, Stephanie, my sister, Pat, my other sister, Danielle, Tina, and my cousin Diane. And Nancy said I could have called myself the tofu psychic. You know what? It did occur to me.
Yeah.
But Kate, what I think a lot of people have been working with, besides, you know, the understanding that there's these dimensions, there's different things going on, and we're seeing sadly the changes, the different dimensions that people are in, and that there really is no separation. Can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, you're absolutely right on. You're absolutely right on. And again, I can only speak from experience. So please know anything that I share as far as my perspective is exactly that. It's my perspective, it's my experience, because exactly what I'm about to say is going to support that, right? So my experience, my perspective is a reality, right? It is my reality. It's the reality that I'm living in, that I swim around in, right? That I like to leave and then come back to, right? It's my reality. My reality exists simultaneously with your reality. You have your own perspective. You have your own way of seeing the world. You have your own lenses, right, that you look through. Cute glasses, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I dyed my hair just for you.
Oh, you're so cute, Mary. You're just so cute. You're so cute anyway. So that's an example. Oh, what's that?
I said, go on. I'm just teasing you.
So that's an example of how two different realities coexist, right? We're right next to each other. We're actually intermingled. We're overlaying over one another, right? So there are two different realities that are existing in the same way. Well, that also happens dimensionally, right? That also happens with realms. That also happens with timelines, right? So if you think about time is a human construct. We need it in order to understand. So we think about it linearly, right? There's past and there's future and there's now. But when you think about alternate dimensions, alternate realms, even like when you say like past lives, those past lives can currently exist right now in this moment. That's how we're able to like reach out and grab it. We're able to tap into it. And what I believe, what I have found is the more that you open up, the more that you expand, the more that you basically face your fears, right? Like you cross that threshold that your fear is trying to tell you stay small, hold back. When you cross that threshold and you allow yourself to voyage beyond that, you actually get like a VIP all access pass. Like you can go anywhere. You can go into alternate dimensions and alternate realities. But what's happening for a lot of folks, for a lot of people, is we are conditioned to just focus on this one reality, right? If it's not in front of us, if we don't see evidence, if we don't see proof, if it's not happening in front of us, then we have these little program mechanisms that teach us or create and instill this anxiety or something's wrong or this doubt, and that just perpetuates upon itself. And again, it keeps us small, keeps us controllable, right? Keeps us like easy to manipulate, keeps us food basically for other advantageous and opportunistic energies. So what I really love teaching, what I really love focusing on, what I really love living and doing myself is to stay in that open and expanded state, so that even if there's something within the current reality that doesn't line up, there's always another reality that you can tap into and bring through, right? So like an example would be, a lot of the times when people teach like dimensions, the way that we understand it is like, okay, like 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5, right? We see it kind of stacked in our minds, like a building, like first floor, second floor, third floor, right? We can see it in that way. But if you think about it, just like in a building, the first floor and the seventh floor, they exist within the same building. They exist at the same time, right? It's part of the same whole, the same one. So if you are let's say you are stepping out of your 3D matrix, right? You're starting to open up, and you take that elevator ride up to the 5th floor, right? Again, I'm just going to use the building model because it's easy to understand.
That's good.
Let's say you take that elevator ride up to the 5th floor and you start playing with energy, right? You start tapping into, what's your manifestation skills. That's something that you can do in 5D, right? Just like, what can you create, right? As far as like, what can you bring into your world, your reality? It's almost like you doing that. You're visiting the 5th floor. You can take a little souvenir, a little bit of evidence back down to 3D with you, right? So it's like we can bring these threads of whatever work or whatever we're tapping into these multiple dimensions, right? Into these multiple realms. And a lot of what I'm seeing just on the tail end of that is I'm seeing a lot of people actually stepping beyond that, right? So you think like 6D, like 5D, we're building castles in the sky, right? We're doing manifestation work. We're interdimensional travel. 6D is more like the light body. What I'm seeing a lot lately is a lot, especially considering what's happening in the world, is 8D, right? That's where the duality is, right? That's where the war is, right? That's where there's this opposition, this resistance, this force. A lot of people that I've been connecting with recently in session and just as far as like where my work is calling me, people are actually starting to pull these threads from 8D and bring them all the way down here into the physical space, which is actually altering our reality, which is why our physical 3D existence and experience doesn't feel really solid or grounded right now, because it's totally like, it's recapitulating, it's reorganizing itself completely because of what's happening with these interdimensional threads.
I remember when we were concentrating on 5D years ago, and we were all saying, oh, if we could just get to 5D, this would be great. This is going to be great, but it's a little wonky still,
Yeah, for sure.
So I was lucky to have a great conversation with Katie Indicrow the other day, and she said she was giving me some ideas about really grounding more into 7, and I find that so peaceful. I find that to be just extremely peaceful. I know my work is on a different level, or not level, excuse me, dimension. And so I know that we can travel in and out. Was I telling just you the story about the little boy in the grocery store, or was I telling everybody that?
What do you
remember when we first started talking this morning? And I was talking about the little boy and the man in the grocery store. Was that just you, or was it later? Because this is illustrating.
We were on. Yeah.
I think so, yes. This illustrates a point to me. Memory is very odd. And do we care? We don't. And time is a little odd right now, and don't worry about it. I went to a very 3D place the other day with people that I absolutely love. And I kept looking at the clock, and I swear that 20-minute period didn't go anywhere. It was for the longest time. And it didn't occur to me till I got back home.
Yeah.
When I got back home, I said something about that to my husband, and he said, I think this is one of the times he just said, I love you. You're safe here. Let's eat something, which was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So food is very grounding, and please, everybody, just ground the heck out of yourself. So thank you. That's a beautiful explanation. Can you talk about why are we feeling so different right now? You've noticed it too. Just been talking about it in the last couple of days.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Mary. This is roller coaster, maybe is the best way to describe gyrations. That's the word that came through in my channeling this morning. Just the gyrations, just feeling it's like, this is how universes are created, right? With expansion, contraction, inhale, exhale, right? These gyrations that we're going through. And I don't know if you can identify with this, Mary. I certainly relate to this. I've also experienced some witnesses with those that I'm connecting to, is this feeling of, it's like a pendulum swing, interestingly, that you just grabbed yours, where we're swinging wildly in between these, again, as our new reality is coming in, right? It's almost like the matrix is filling in. So reality is filling in. We have these like wild pendulum swings where you might have these moments of, oh, I feel alive, I feel invigorated, I'm so inspired. And then you go to sit down and do something with it, and you're just like staring out the window. Like there's just nothing, there's nothing. I've also noticed it's been very challenging to call or tap into, like, how do I even say this? Creativity, so, okay, I'll give you an example. So there is a topic that I have to have prepared in order for a radio show in a couple of weeks. And I have been sitting with this for days. Typically, like coming up with something to talk about, it's boom, it's right there. Like I don't have to reach very far for it.
Mhm.
But this, for whatever reason, I was actually noticing every time I went to like, the best way I can describe the way that I work is it's almost like I open a drawer and I reach out. Like I reach out from the drawer and it's like, hand me something, like hand me the idea. And every time I went to like open that drawer, it wouldn't like open all the way. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just meant to just stay right here. I'm just meant to stay right here. I wasn't able to like access that. And I did energy work on myself, and I got my crystals that help with creativity. And it was just like, I just kept getting like, just not now, not yet, not now. And it felt like an availability thing. Like the information wasn't available or wasn't ready yet, or the information that I might get now might not be relevant in like 20 minutes, right? Or might not be relevant by tomorrow, because there's so much that keeps changing. And this also is coming through, I've noticed, with emotions as well. So there's a majorly deep purge that's happening. And this is, I'm talking about humanity, right? This is collective consciousness. There's a major deep purge that's happening. And we're experiencing it all on a very personal, intimate level, right? So like, honestly, this is a very beautiful thing. We're all going through this together and we're feeling it so personally and intimately. I think that's really beautiful. But when you're like in it, when you're caught up in the current of it, it can be a little overwhelming. It can be a little like honestly nauseating, right? You can get like motion sickness from nothing really feels certain or feels stable, feels still. And so we can have, emotions come up. We can have like, things happen with our body, like skin breaking out, major fears being triggered. Even when really beautiful things are happening, we can have like, it's almost like, how should I describe it? It's like having a really nasty appetizer right before having like a gorgeously perfected meal. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Okay, like, am I explaining this in a way that makes sense?
It's actually neck snapping, the changes. But what she's talking about, everybody, really, if I'm understanding it correctly, is there sometimes needs to be great inspiration and then a nap right after that. Seriously,
Yeah.
totally fine. Yeah. It's because we do need to rest and reset and integrate, clear our liver. It's all about the liver, everybody. So when you feel like napping, please to nap. That's when your folks need to come in and do a little integration. It's all been about the integration for me just recently, about the body soul integration, the integration, it just releasing my guidance and going into higher self is what so I always sort of understood folks that I was reading through Pendulum, because I'm an energy worker above all. Higher self and guidance. My guides were so interesting, and there was about 4 truckloads of them. They were the coolest people you ever met, and I loved them, and I talked to them all day. I'd wake up, I'd talk to them, I'd go to sleep, I'd talk to them. Now I'm just working with my higher self. It is a little lonely, but it's a different way of going. And I tell you, I feel lighter in that way. But what she's talking about here is the sit tight moment that you get every once in a while. And it's totally fine to sit tight until you actually kind of have that statement to make. Oh, is that different than what a lot of people are doing right now? They are just la, 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 about anything that comes into your head, and that could be hurtful and triggering on folks. And so some of the things we're saying is energy responsibility is important right now. Not saying you shouldn't speak your truth, because you should, but speak from love, everything from love if you can. Hold that angel hand if you would. But no, Kate, you described it really well. And then we've noticed in the last few weeks about the masculine waking up. I'm an example of the divine masculine, the dog and my husband. And I have been noticing that both of them, when they go outside, it's like, it's so beautiful outside.
Just like,
and so the masculine's waking up, and we're having this little mergy thing, right? The song came on right before we got together, and the song was, the song lyrics were, it's the new Mother Nature taking over. It's the new splendid lady come to call. And I went, okay, then they're talking. Yeah. Now, the other day, Kate and I went on a perfectly social distanced walk.
Yeah.
In our beautiful park. Yeah. In the neighborhood. And it's a brand new park. They call it Dune Park. This was named in honor of Frank Herbert, who wrote the Dune books. Yeah. And he's from our area. And so we went there. And Kate had never been, and I had been. And so we were going around this one area. And I said, oh, do we want to turn back and go back to the vehicles? And Kate said, it's a loop. we can choose to get off right up here. We both went, ooh, it's a loop. You can choose to get off.
How appropriate is that, right?
And so I've been noticing, you know, people in front of me, my clients, people on social media, and always myself, that we have noticed that we have been in a doggone loop, and people are waking up to what that is. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Yes, I would love to. I would love to, because I'm like so thrilled by this. Honestly, like, you know, people who really get into sports, like they'll like stand up and like yell at the screen. I'm that way when people have like eureka moments or like epiphanies, or, you know, moments where it's like they're embodying their higher self. I'm like, yes, like this is amazing. So yes, I'm actually super excited by this, because a lot of folks are really, you know, there's different schools. Thank you, H. There's different schools, right? There's different collectives. So no matter where you are in your journey, there really is no right and wrong way to do it, way to go about it, or wrong place to be right now. Like wherever you are in the perfect place, right? So please know that. Also, and considering that, what we're doing is kind of like a spiral, is the best way I can or get this concept across the way that I understand it. So I always like to use my arm, right? Because it's like when people think, you know, opening, expansion, elevation, right? We're moving up. So think about it like this whole side of my arm, there's some karmic issue, there's some struggle, right? There's some challenge. It could be energy that, again, may exist in a higher aspect of self, right? This could be a wound or a trauma or a program that could exist at a higher dimension, and it trickles down, and all you know is, I haven't met the right partner yet. You know what I mean? Like I keep meeting people that betray me or take advantage of me, and then you find that reoccurring issue. Well, let's say you're at a lower vibration yourself, right? Let's say you're carrying a lot of density. Let's say you're carrying a lot of pain or anger, resentment, trauma, or whatever it might be, and it hasn't cleared out yet. You haven't worked through it yet, or it's just, you know, something that's stuck in your craw. You may encounter that issue and just be like completely succumbed by it, right? Like it might bowl you over and just, you know, to put it simply, ruin your life, right? It just might cause everything to blow up. You might have an earth-shattering divorce or heartbreak or whatever it is. Well, let's say you're on your journey, and as you move forward, rather than just going straight up, you're actually coiling around, right? So you're coiling around in order to get to another state of consciousness, right? So you're expanding yourself to open up your consciousness. So you might actually be bumping up against that same karmic issue, right? Because here you are again on this side of the journey, but you're at a different space. So here now, that same energy is coming through. That same energy is being presented to you. That same energy is stumbling across your path to be dealt with or integrated, released, healed, whatever it might be. And, you know, you might still struggle with it. Maybe it takes you 8 months to work through the same issue, but hey, awesome. And so you lighten yourself and you continue on your journey, right? And the more you ascend, you might actually get to a point where it's just like, oh, I see you down there, right? That issue, that energy, that doesn't even touch me anymore. Because I've gotten to a place in my journey where I understand what it is. I've integrated it. I love that part of myself that even attracts that in, that has even been through that, right? And handling that with the energy of compassion, unconditional love, right? Handling it in the truth, with truth of unconditional love. And so you can still have that same energy present, and it's just, it doesn't manifest. It doesn't stay here, right? This is something that then becomes back or sent back to source, something to be transmuted.
This is really exciting to listen to. I find myself quite excited because I had a little coffee before you came on.
Yeah.
Usually I'm a little slower speed, but my goodness, thank you so much for explaining that. You know, we're deciding now, I notice, again, all the people around me and myself, deciding how to just really be, the best word I found is just sovereign, speaking that truth about ourselves, trying to say it in the best way.
Yeah.
When did you figure that out for yourself, and how did it all come to be?
My process was sloppy, honestly. It was a little sloppy. It just got to the point where I was in my life as Kate, I just got so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was so desperate. I mean, absolutely desperate to feel freedom, to feel lightness, to feel unburdened, to feel myself. It was like an itch that I was never able to scratch. And so through, micro action, through decisions, like little decisions here and there, I would make moves within my life that would somehow make me feel like I was getting closer to that sense of freedom, of liberation. And it looked like many different ways. It looked like, releasing relationships. It looked like, changing how I treated my body. It looked like self-love and self-care. And I had to get to a place where the more I did that, the more I opened up, the more I learned more about myself. And it's like, oh, here's the thing that I always thought was an issue and I always thought was a problem. How do we turn this into a superpower, right? How do we turn this into a strength? And so it was a really intensive journey of self-education, self-love, self-appreciation. And I've had the blessing / curse of just being alone a lot in my life. Like as far as like family units and family structure, it gave me a lot of time to just focus on like, what am I doing? What am I doing here on this planet? How am I making the most of this life? What do I have to offer this world? Or what value do I have to provide? And carrying that question within myself led me to places where I found that I got to a place, and again, I say it's very sloppy, where it's going to sound so crude, but this is the truth. I got to a place where like I literally had to learn to like not give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Like there was my grandma in her older years, the family would kind of tease her and make fun of her because like one of her mottos was, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like she just got to the age where it's like, hey Jean, what do you want for dinner? I don't give a shit. What do you want to watch tonight? I don't give a shit. And she was more excited the fact that she was saying shit so freely because she rarely swore in her life, So I took that and I applied that for myself of like, why do I care so much? Why do I care so much what people think about me? Why do I care so much if I'm like, ooh, am I a problem? Like, am I making it uncomfortable for you? Or like, I was not able to find my place because I was so concerned with like where I fit in with the rest of the world, that I really just had to get to a place where I was like, well, what's going on within my own universe? Like I have to stop caring about all that. And I have to just focus on what's going on within my own universe. And that is where I found the liberation. And the more I dove into that, the more I embraced that, it turns out me being who I am is actually really helpful for people. It's really beneficial and really useful. And like people really enjoy my company. Who would have thought? It's like all these areas that I was holding myself back and believing all the lies, right? Believing the conditioning, believing the density, right? Believing the trauma and the ancestral wounds, like believing all of that. I was like, hook, line, and sinker. I believe that. It was only through sloppily getting to a point of like not giving a shit, right? That it turned out that I found myself even more in love with humanity, more in love with myself. I actually just had a friend recently. I haven't seen him for a really long time. And he asked me, he's like, he's not in the metaphysical community or does this kind of work at all. And he asked me, he's like, when you connect with people in session, like, does it ever get like tiring? Or do you ever get like, oh my gosh, not this issue again? And I genuinely said no, like without hesitation. It was like, no, in that moment, like,
right.
You have my undivided attention. My entire world revolves around you. And I feel nothing but love and compassion for that other person, or people or group or whatever, or collective or whatever it is. Like that really is, it's genuine, it's present. And I could only get there by escaping all of my inhibitions, right? All of my restrictions, all of my resistance. And it's still always a work in progress. Will always be a work in progress. But yeah, hopefully that's something that can help.
Oh my gosh, if everybody could just listen to what Kate said. I'd like to add my small little take of that. People will tell you that your issues are just terrible. People did that to me a lot of my life. Turns out that's my superpower, just like you're saying. I tell that to people all the time. And when we hold you in sessions, we are so happy to do that because that's the best part of our day, isn't it?
Yes.
It sure is for me. And when somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, they said, why did you hold on to those 7 truckloads of guides for so long? And I said, because sometimes it was only them that loved me.
Yes.
And then I recognized when I had the chutzpah to say, please to go on. I know you need to go on, especially Mr. Tesla. That was my husband. Yeah. That was my husband. Not during the Tesla lifetime, but another time I had him with me every moment of my life. Okay. When I said goodbye, that was soul wrenching.
Yeah.
Okay, but I did see him today though, so he's still around. not his guidance. He has to go, he has to do what he needs to do, and I have to do what I need to do. And so I recognized, what's that?
I hear he's coming back.
Oh, I hope so. He's beautiful. And so the thing is, but I got Tom, you know, I mean, I used to have, you know, here's one on one side, here's the other, and it was, anyway, the thing is though, is I recognized when I let him go, I loved myself so completely.
Yeah.
And then right the moment I did that, I had several people in my life that I consider massive teachers of mine come to me and say something special to me. And I've had nothing but people just off the cuff text me and say, thank you for something you did 10 years ago or whatever. And it's like when I could recognize the love within myself, everybody could recognize it.
Yes.
And it's not that I did not have that before, because I do. And whoever sent me the back massager, thank you so much. I still haven't figured that out. But what I'm saying is everybody, it's a go within thing. We have to help ourselves.
Yeah.
I get that question all the time. How can I help the earth? How can I help humanity? Help yourself, man, because that just spreads your light. It spreads your light.
Amen.
So I'm hoping that there are, you know what, you know how I always know people are excited about the guest that I have on is they don't ask a question. Because they're listening to you. They want to see. So what I love about you is when you've done some awesome readings for me in the past. And when you have a reading with Kate, she draws an awesome little picture. She's just drawing and she's getting this information. And that's kind of a mark of an awesome psychic, that you kind of remind yourself where you're going, because it's a little snapshot of what the story will be.
Yeah.
And you never have to wonder with Kate, because she's picking up all kinds of different things and she's going to explain it to you. She might not know what it means, but I really love your process. Can you talk about that for a second?
Thank you. Yeah. It's funny how it's kind of like, it's really developed and finessed over the years. It just started off like, think, you know, back to school days. I don't know, you may have been one of those students as well, where it was just easier to learn and listen and take in information while doodling. Like I would just always have like my pen. So my school notebooks as a kid, like you would always see these little characters or little designs or, you know, shapes all in the corners, because that was the only way that I could receive information, was if I like busied my body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always wondered that, because if you ask me what I learned in school, I'll say not a thing.
Right.
I was afraid to go at 7, but I did get my husband. That's when I met him, but go on.
Yeah, no, same. If you tell me to sit down, eyes up front, nothing in my hands, no gum in my mouth, right? If there's nothing, and I have to focus, I will tell you everything about the teacher. I'll tell you everything about like their weird habits and like, you know, where they miss shaving and you know what I mean? Like I'll tell you all that, but what they taught, I'll totally miss it. But if I have like, if I'm chewing on gum, if I'm able to doodle, if I've got my water to sip on, like I'm actually able to, it's such a weird thing. So anyway, that's how I understood my energy works. So when I started off, I would just like, it's slower when you first start off, and I would just feel my way into someone's energy. And it was very choppy is the best way I can describe how it started. It was explorative, it was choppy, and I would just like draw things out. And then, what do you know? The more I feel into the energy, like, oh, this actually becomes a picture. So what it looks like now is when I'm in session with someone, there's 2 different ways that I connect to their energy. And the first way is I start by doing what I call breathing in their essence. And so I actually take in their essence, and this is telling me the energy that they're holding within their auric field, as well as what's in their environment right now in their life. And this is when I tend to see things. Sometimes I'll be like greeted with something, like something or someone will just like be right in my face if they've got like a departed loved one that's with them, or, oh my God, okay, all right, I hear you. So you may actually, they just like totally blew out my right ear just now. I feel you guys, I feel you. So they're like, don't give away all your secrets. It's okay, it's just okay to share. So I start by doing what I call breathing in your essence. And whatever I see, whatever I hear, whatever I sense, I'm going to write that down, right? I always have my paper with me and I write it down, and I just write wherever it feels good to write it. I see a horse, I'm putting it over here. Oh, I see some stars, I'm putting it over here. Or I'm seeing the word salacious and I'm putting it down here. And oh, Mark, is that a person in your life? And I'm going to put him over here, right? So I just put it wherever it feels good, and I don't even pay attention to it. From there, I will set an intention that places me and the parent within a safe and sacred space. What this does, this allows both of us to open up our energy. So we're moving from empathic, where I'm just kind of like feeling your vibe. Now we're going to open up your energy. And from there, I'm going to ask the parent or the client their permission to directly connect. And from there, I am actually stepping into what I call your divine line. So I then become like the mouthpiece or the facilitator within your energy. It's like I'm trying on your life, right? I'm trying on your energy, and I get to be the mirror and talk to you as we're sharing the same stream of consciousness. And it's cool because Kate, I step aside, right? So I'm always like this third party observer, and I'm always like, oh, that's good, spirit. Oh, that's interesting. That's fascinating. Or, right? Like I get to be a part of it without being a part of it, because I'm the hollow bone, right, in the channel. So from there, my focus is either going to, things are lighting up within my mind's eye, things are lighting up within my body, things are lighting up within my thought system, or my eyes are going to be directed as to these things that I wrote down. And this actually becomes a roadmap for our entire session. And they all tie together. That's the beauty part, right? Like everything's connected. People can have questions, like they'll have a question about their marriage, they'll have a question about their health, they'll have a question about a creative project, their future business, maybe something that happened to them in childhood, and then like maybe some healing work that they're doing, thinking that they're all separate things. But what ends up happening, this is what is so exciting about the work, is that by the end of session, we recognize how they're all interworking. They're all working together. The questions that you have right now are connected because there's like a greater overarching macrocosm, right? There's a greater umbrella of what you're doing, how you're leveling up, what you're shifting, where you're going. There's always something bigger. It's very fractal in that way. Like you can continue to expand out, or you can continue to expand in and go deep.
Yes. Isn't that exciting though? And what she's describing is something that has taken her a little bit to really perfect, you know. Everybody has their process, and I think it's fascinating how people get the information. And what you said that's beautiful. And a reading with you has always been very high level. I remember when I was sitting at Crescent Moon and you came in to say hi to me, you actually sat down and helped me, and she said, go home and rest, and then by the way, you have to go to the doctor. You did. And you did really well. You really did, and I want to thank you so much for that, because then I later went to the doctor. Okay, so you have a couple questions here.
Okay.
The first question is for Ron. He asks, is my path right for the rest of the year with my new girlfriend? Ron, does that mean you're dumping her at the end of 2020? He's a friend of mine. I'm going to mess with him. So 2 questions. Ron, is my path right for the rest of the year with my new girlfriend?
Okay, so if we're going to start answering questions, I'm just going to set my intention so I can step into that energy and step into the viewer's energy. All right. Thank you. Let me grab my spiritual teams now that I'm ready to connect. I ask that we're all placed in a safe and sacred space, so the work that we do is of divine love and divine light. Thank you. I then ask that we're placed within a blue violet light, so the work that we do goes unseen by anything that is of the highest vibration and highest realm. Thank you. Kate, the persona, she now steps aside, and I can receive any healing information and messages needed at this time. Okay. Would you mind reading Ron's question back to me again, please?
No problem. Is my path right for the rest of the year with my new girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm seeing 11-7. Whenever I see 11-7, this tells me on path. So it feels like 11-7. At the same time, it also feels like there might be some, we'll call it calibrations. It feels like we're just working out the kinks. There's differences of opinion. I want to call it a difference of opinion. We're just coming, how do I say this? We want the same thing. We're coming at it from 2 different angles. And it's almost like, here's the thing that we want. We're coming at it from 2 different places. We're actually going to the same place, but if we check in where we currently are, we're going to see that we're in 2 different places. So if we focus on what I'm hearing shared interest, shared goal. If we focus on that, this is where we're going to have a melding, melding of the minds, meeting of the heart. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Okay, and I think, yep, she's got it. Okay, the next person, Nancy with a Y, Nancy Congleton. Everybody knows Nancy. What is the best way for me to get in touch with my guides and angels?
I'm giggling because she's surrounded by them. She needs to express herself. There's something that this actually has to do with her voice. It has to do with like her, because I'm hearing the word broadcast. So this makes me feel like the way that she shares herself with the world, I feel like this is something that she has, I'm hearing secrecy. She may have some secrecy around her beliefs or what she feels aligned with, what she feels connected to. And what I'm hearing is ownership. So if she's able to take ownership as far as like what she believes is true for her, and it doesn't, okay, thank you. They're reminding me of my own words. Stop giving a shit, right? So if you don't give a shit, right? If you stop really caring and anchor into what feels good for you, then I'm hearing your receptivity opens up, because they're literally like, there's I'm giggling because like the aspects of her spiritual team, like her guides and angels, and aspects of her higher self, literally like pressed up against the glass, like showing me that they're like so close, they just want to be let in. They just want to be let in. So it has to do with her opening up.
Absolutely. And there's no perfect way, Nancy. So just stop trying to do it the perfect way. You got that perfectionism symbol there. And also a little bit of blocky block in your right there. Also, I want to say to Ron, Ron, your energy is going one way and her energy is going another way. So do some energy work around that. When I put hers with yours, it goes one way, yours with hers, it goes another way. What Kate's trying to say is you guys are sort of on the other page energetically. A different
opposite sides of the door, and they're both trying to pull at the same time. They're both trying to push at the same time.
It's a 9, it's a 6.
Yeah.
So Lizzie wants to know how to get a hold of you, and I know that I want to ask that for everybody at the end, so I'm not missing you. Okay, so not really. I don't know what you mean, Ron. Okay, so Jamie, am I on the right path to heal my body?
Jamie, okay.
Jaime. She's a gal, Jamie B.
And she asked, am I on the right path to heal my body? What I would love to see for you, Jamie, is what I'm feeling is there's a major weight of burden. I feel that it's almost like you're overcomplicating. I'm hearing overcomplicating. How do I say this? I've really been loving the term micro action lately. So taking like smaller steps or smaller, I'm hearing bits of progress and focusing on the bits of progress. There's something that it has to, okay, thank you. So they're bringing me into the body. I'm feeling a lot of pain within the back, and I'm feeling both burden, responsibility, and I'm also feeling lack of support. And whenever I feel this lack of support, it's like, oh, I can't do what I want to do, or I can't do what I need to do because I don't have the right XYZ. And I feel that the truth is actually you have everything that you need right now. I'm hearing already within you and around you, and to not necessarily overcomplicate it, but surrender and embrace into the now moment and continue to focus on, I'm hearing little victories, little wins. And I'm also hearing stay in the now moment again, because I keep feeling like you're trying to forecast, like, when am I going to see results, or when am I going to be able to, I feel like there are goals that you have, and it's like, when am I going to be able to achieve that? And I keep feeling like, skirt, bring it back, come back into the now moment, and that's going to help. It's big time. I feel like that's going to help big time. And I'm grateful too. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Very good. Love you. She's just very special. So she's very special. Okay, so let's see here. Tina says, will I meet my love life partner soon?
Tina wants to know, she meet the love of her life. Okay, I'm hearing you've already met them. It's already someone you know. I'm hearing revisit. I feel like this is something that you're going to revisit, and I'm hearing written off. So you may have already written this person off.
It's retrograde. They're coming back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because it feels like, because I'm hearing dismissed, you're dismissed. Like there's something that they did that wasn't, and I say this with love, but like you had like an egoic expectation. They didn't meet that, and you're like, done. I'm done with you. And it feels like a dismissal. And honestly, I feel like you had to do that in order to like spare yourself torment, is what I'm hearing, to spare yourself torment. So that was necessary. No judgment there. It was what it was. The cycles had to close out. Now I feel like there's an energy of, okay, I'm hearing gravitational pull. So I actually feel like you guys are being pulled back towards each other. I'm hearing laying in wait. So I feel that there's nothing that you necessarily need to do. You are the receiver. I feel like this is something that will come into your field of awareness. So you will know. You will know. Absolutely.
Yeah, that doesn't look bad either, Tina. Okay, awesome. Yay. Okay, so here's Lizzie's question in the nows. She says she has a heart issue.
Okay.
Do you feel it getting better? Her name is Elizabeth.
Okay, so it's not a simple yes or no. I see it getting better if you choose to prioritize your passions, meaning only moving towards things that you feel fulfilled by or in love with. I feel that there's a lot of, I'm hearing susceptibility. So you may be susceptible to, I'm hearing doing dirty work. So this could also be like spiritual dirty work, like emotional dirty work. Like if someone is spiritual bypassing, right? So if they're like trying to claim something, but they're not actually doing the work themselves, and then you kind of pick up like the energetic slack. This is what I'm feeling. I'm hearing lifetime. So I feel like you've actually been doing this like your whole life. You feel extremely empathic. I would absolutely, I'm not in the business of diagnosing, but I would call you an empath. And I do feel that this is, I'm hearing a heart opening opportunity. So you have an opportunity to open your heart, literally with what you are focusing on. I'm also hearing what you're consuming, including like the media, the contents, the movies, the information that you are consuming. So I feel like this is, needs to be a priority. And it's not, okay, and I'm not a medical professional, but what I'm hearing is we're not going to, how do I say this? Focusing on the physical heart is going to just, I'm hearing spin your wheels. Like you're just going to spin your wheels. Focus more on, they're showing me like a double door, a heart portal. Focus on your heart portal opening up, because you have been cut off from all of the help and the support that is available to you. And you feel like you're doing it on your own a lot. And I feel like learning how to, so what I would recommend is guided meditations of heart activations, or anything that is centered around heart opening, plant medicine, heart openers, binaural beats, heart openers, anything that can open your heart. This is what I would really focus on.
I will send you one of those, Lizzie. And that's what the last few and myself have come up with. And you are awesome. And I hope that makes sense. Okay. Absolutely. We love you. Okay. We're getting lots of loves from, thanks for lots of hearts and loves. Thanks for what you've been doing so far. Nancy says, thank you. And also Ron. And there's Jeannie, our friend. And there is Galadriel. Is this the place I belong? Or should I keep looking for a place to move to? So where this person lives, is that the correct place? Or is there another better place?
I'm giggling because as I feel into the question, I actually feel like that's a soul question about this planet. Yeah. Like, is this really where I belong? So I'm actually finding a lot of humor in that question. Please know I'm not laughing at the question. So as far as where you are, honestly, they're saying itchy. Like you are itching for a change. You're itching for a move. And I have to say, this is something that has been coming through, especially during this time period within the last 2 months that I can recall most highlighted, that a lot of people are being rearranged right now. A lot of people are being moved around the planet, being moved around the globe. Cycles that have served you in the past are now closing. I feel, as I'm connecting to your energy, I can actually feel this energy rising up within you. So this is inspiration to make a move. This is inspiration to make a change. But because there's a lot that comes with that, meaning there's a lot of details, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of expense, there's a lot of research, right? There's a lot of like minutia that comes with that. What I'm seeing is a gate in front of your brain, right? So it's like, it's just a mental block, right? It's a mental block. But what I'm feeling is you already, this is so, your energy is so sassy. I actually really like it. It's like, you already know where you're going. You already know where you're going. Stop questioning yourself, trust that, and start making arrangements, start making plans. I'm hearing June is okay for movement. So if you want to take action in June actually feels good to start making moves on that.
Awesome. No overthinking.
No.
Okay. So Stephanie M, this is somebody very special to me. Am I on the right path with my career?
Stephanie. Okay. Interesting. So I do feel that there's some tweaking. I want to put this like, how do I want to put this? You have been operating in a mode that's results oriented, And I feel that the tweak, the shift I'm hearing that is bound to happen is you're going to become more process oriented. So right now it feels like, okay, this is my goal, this is my aim, this is my focus, and that's what I'm moving towards. And I feel, honey, you are convicted. Honestly, I feel that within you. It's like, oh, like such conviction. But I feel that once you get moving, it's almost like you're at the top of the hill and you're in your little soapbox car and you're like, that's where I'm going to go. And as soon as you get rolling down the hill, you find, oh crap, there's a wobble, and you're going to have to accommodate that. And it feels like it's going to take some strength, right? Think about going down the hill on a soapbox car and it's got a wobble. You're going to have to hold on to that wheel, right? So I feel that there's, how do I put this? There's an energy that's going to want to take you in a new way. You're going to resist, and you're going to want to cling onto that wheel, and you're going to want to direct it because you're like, no, that's where I'm going. That's where I said I was going to go, and that's where I'm going. And I really want to encourage you to enjoy the process, enjoy the ride, and not focus on the results. So I hope that helps.
That's good. That is good. You're 5 minutes to 12 to this too, Stephanie. That means you're so ready to make it happen. You're so close. Okay. So Isha says, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Isha says, what suggestions do you have for me continuing into this full faith journey that Source is guiding me to leap into? And then I've got a couple more questions after that. And then we've been at this an hour. We got to let Kate and Kate's brain rest and all the guidance. So got a couple more questions after Isha.
Great.
So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Jinx. No, you go. No, you hang up. So honestly, what I'm feeling is, I'm hearing hold your own. Hold your own. So I feel that you may actually be surrounded by some, to put it mildly and nicely, not the most supportive environment. Like, I feel like it's not the most supportive. In all truth, I actually feel it's a little attacking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling some energy that's just like, you know, you feel a certain kind of way and I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't feel that way. Or you're going to think a certain kind of thing and I'm going to try and convince you otherwise. Like I can feel that there's this energy that is a little they're showing me like a light switch. Like, whatever this energy is, it's a little arrogant, and I feel bad saying that because I feel like it might be someone that you really, really care about, but honestly, the energy is a little arrogant, and I feel that they think like, oh, I can just flip a switch, and so you're trying to open up and go with the flow, and yet you have this like conductive, directive energy like coming in towards you. So what's coming through is hold your own, and if your position is, I don't know, but I know it's not that, then that's your position. Because sometimes that's the best we got, right? That's the best you can do. You don't have to have all the answers to know that that's not the answer. Do you know what I mean? So this is something that I feel you have been trying to, yeah, they're saying logic, trying to make sense of things only, like, I'm hearing out of defensiveness. It's almost like I have to offer up a reason or an excuse in order to like be granted the space that I need in order to grow and evolve. And this is why I'm seeing the image of like the little dandelion that's like poking up through the concrete sidewalk. It's like, hold your position, man. Like, you're a delicate flower. You're beautiful. You are not a weed. And you have the strength of pushing through any kind of density or resistance that's trying to block your growth. So hold your position.
My friend always tells me, when I ever get in that position, my friend says, back out of the circle.
There's a meme too, Homer Simpson like sneaking into the bushes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so 2 more to go. Okay, so Miss Jeannie, is there a true love partner that I will meet?
Oh, Jeannie. Ooh. So here's what I'm get hung up on. So when I feel into that question, the first thing that I'm met with is, this may be a pattern or just a propensity for defaulting into roles. Like I'm going to take care of you in this way, and then you're going to take care of me in this way. And what this feels like is, it feels conditional. It feels like the pattern has been conditional love. Like, I want someone to rub my feet. I want someone to cook me dinner, and then I will comb his hair and I will bake him cakes on his birthday. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you have this I'm hearing the word pretense. It's like a set pretense of what this is going to be or how you're going to show up in this way. And I feel like that's where you keep getting into trouble. That's where you keep getting your toe snagged. And so what I'm feeling is if you can shift and open into the possibility, open up your heart to the universe and ask, what is it going to take to attract a partner in unconditional love? And what is it going to take for me to receive and disseminate unconditional love? I feel like that will set you onto a new trajectory. Like you'll be stepping onto a new timeline essentially, because right now I feel there's a little bit of that, you know, we're bumping into the same karma, right? We're bumping into, like, every time we loop around, we're bumping into the same thing. So I feel no more, because when you ask true love, like what I'm hearing is I want to be loved unconditionally. I want to be loved unconditionally. I want to exchange that. I want to share in that. I want to have that. And I feel that it's a shift basically when it comes to like your creation, like your manifestation, like what you're focusing on. So if you're able to shift and focus more on allowing unconditional love and not necessarily the person, the partner, or what they're going to look like or what they're going to do for you, that is actually going to greatly shift what you welcome into your life. And I'm hearing it, and it's going to start in other ways, right? It's going to start like you mentioned, Mary, like all of a sudden you received all those compliments and all those messages of how people loved you. That it's literally like you're opening up. Think about like the Coliseum, right? Like every time that gate opens up, like something's coming into the ring, but you want it to be unconditional love, right?
And you know what's interesting about that? Sometimes you receive stuff that you could have got way back when, before some of the hard times happened. And then you noticed you weren't receiving. And then so recognize maybe the love that's coming in now is all the years of love that you didn't have back then. And I'm just going to say thank you for that if any of that applies to me. So thank you, everybody. Okay, so the very last question is the question on my mind for perpetuity. My dear Kelly, when will I be, I cannot wait till you answer this. I have to tell you. Okay. When will I be able to consciously be able to connect with my guides and spirit? The $50,000 question.
I'm laughing because my team is saying, how much should we tell them?
God, please tell her the whole thing.
So again, all I can do is I share what I see from my perspective. You decide what feels true for you. So what I'm seeing or what I've been bringing through, what I've been experiencing, our angels, our guides, our galactic guardians, they are all us. We are them. So they are aspects of ourself. So if you are finding difficulty in connecting with your guides, your guardians, your angels, your ancestors, your protectors, you are not in touch with all aspects of yourself. So the first place that I would encourage you to look is by starting with doing possible work around soul retrieval. So bringing all parts of yourself back to yourself. You can go in depth, you can keep it very simple. And start with that work. And then energetic maintenance, right? Making sure that your energy is clear, your channel is clear, you're feeling balanced and harmonized. From there, you will then be able to develop a language with your spiritual team. So I go back and forth, right? I go back and forth because I like to anthropomorphize these currents, these streams of energy that I work with. And I see them as guides separate from me, but I also know that they are part of me, right? Like I am them, they are me, but it's all the same thing. We all exist, right? Simultaneously in multiple dimensions. And we can also call in other energies that, even though it may be a different persona, a different flavor, so to speak, right? A different essence, we are still connected to it, right? So when you find, okay, I'm starting to love these parts of myself, I'm starting to feel more in touch with all parts of myself, then you will start to find, hey, I'm feeling really attracted to crystals. I'm feeling really attracted to numbers. I'm feeling really attracted to animals. Animals keep coming to visit me. Or, hey, every time I come out of a meditation, I notice that my body's really sensitive and I start feeling the energy from other people, like things happen within my body. So your clairs start to open up, your senses start to develop, right? Your clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, whatever, right? Whatever you're working with starts to open up. And this is how you will receive the messages, the guidance from your guides and higher aspects of self. Am I explaining that in a way that makes sense?
Okay, so I'm thinking that Kelly is going to be cool with me saying this question because I've heard her ask this question before. So please, Kelly, can you say yes if we can talk about the third eye for a second? Can you pop on? And I just want to tell you, Kate, that you've had nothing but a ton of thanks. And I want to tell Ron that I held your beloved's face in my mind when she was looking at you because I did see the beloved's face. I'm thinking Kelly is okay with that. She just gave us a bunch of hearts. Could you look at her third eye, please?
Yeah, for sure.
This is the last. We've got to give it up here.
Yeah.
We got to water the plant there.
So there's, it's cute. It's cute. I want to feel into this a little bit more because the first thing I'm seeing overlaid right over her third eye is a little tiny dragon. But what I want to know is she working with the dragon? Is the dragon standing by? So I'm just going to feel a little bit more into this energy. Yeah, it keeps third eye, throat, heart, third eye, throat, heart. Oh, oh, that's so, okay. That is beautiful. Okay. So Kelly, when I feel into your energy, it feels like you have, let me put it this way. The guide that is most available to interact with, I feel is a dragon energy. And when, people work with dragons very, very differently, right? Like how you connect to the dragon realm or how you work with dragons, it's going to vary from person to person. So it's up to you to develop your relationship with your dragon. But what I am feeling is that you actually have, I'm hearing soul origin. So you have a part of your essence, part of your spiritual essence and your origin is connected to the dragon realm, the dragon reality. And I feel that it actually has to do with embracing parts of yourself, embracing and falling in love and allowing parts of yourself to open up. And I'm literally feeling like this welling of the dragon song coming up from like the bowels of your energy. So this is something that you may, spend more time in nature, get grounded, spend time with Pachamama, Mother Gaia, right? In order to open this up further and activate this further in order to get in touch with your dragon. And I keep hearing, help me see. Help me see. So you can get in touch with, I'm saying her, right? Only because, again, dragon energy, it can vary, but what I'm feeling is more of like it's a powerful feminine essence that I'm feeling with your dragon. So you can ask her, help me see. And however she chooses to show up in your life, it's like, I'm giggling because I'm hearing, it's like Yoshi. Like, I don't even remember that game much, but I think the more you fed Yoshi, the bigger he grew, or maybe I'm making it up. But it's this feeling of like the more attention and focus and energy you give to your dragon, the bigger she's going to become, the bigger her presence is in your life and in your energy field. Mm-hmm. So play with that, right? Play with this dragon energy. You can do something very simple when you're in the shower, right? Like we do our best work in the shower, I always say. When you're in the shower, connect with this energy simply by setting an intention. You can place your hands on your body wherever feels good and set an intention and just say, okay, dragon, I don't know your name yet, but I'm ready to meet you. I'm ready to work with you. And start singing. Open up your mouth and ask for the dragon song to come out. This is one of the best ways that you can actually tap into and channel and bring her energy through. So start playing with that and see if that gets you anywhere. See if you have fun with that.
I love that. Yes, this is beautiful. Okay, we can take that to the bank. Okay, kids, I love you all, and I thank you each one deeply for popping on. We had lots of people today, and there's Carolyn asked a question, but honey, we have to stop. She's got to water her plant there. She's been asking questions for quite a while, so bring your question for. Do you want to answer one more?
I'm happy to answer. Okay, I always like to do an extra.
All right, one last question is for my friend Carolyn. How is my new great-grandson Carter doing?
Carter! Oh, he's a little...
Yeah. Huh? He's a little stinker.
Yeah, he's a little builder. Let me tell you what. He's a little builder. He's here to build. He is here to build. Oh man. So I just keep seeing things in his hands. It's almost like he can't stop like grabbing things and picking things up and touching things. He's very tactile. I feel like this is how he understands. He's very tactile. I really there's a curiosity. I really appreciate that about his energy. There's a curiosity about him, which naturally I'm hearing because of age. Of course, we're going to write it off curiosity because of his age. He's going to be learning. This is a curiosity that I'm hearing that will never leave him, will never fail him. So there's a curiosity with, God, what a beautiful little being. They're showing me like he's a worker, like his energy, he's a hard worker, he's a builder, and he's here to build. And I'm hearing monuments. So this is, if you can support him by getting him like Legos and building blocks and, you know, anything that he can like create things and just allow that energy to come through. He's a little architect for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, he's a little stinker, but he's still doing what he's doing, you know, as he's, I don't know anything about kids, you guys. You guys all know. I always say I don't know nothing about birth and no babies, you know. Okay. Well, thank you, my dear Kate, and thank you everybody for coming on today and asking her questions. She's a treasure, and I hope you stop back tomorrow for Joseph the Archangel person and some of my beautiful people this week, and, you know, keep on coming back, and we're just all going to grow together, aren't we? So,
do you mind if I share my website?
Oh yeah, that was the last thing I was going to say. Please tell people how to get a hold of you.
My apologies. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to share because I know that someone asked how to contact me. There are a myriad of different ways. If you wanted to book time together, you can visit my website, boomingeye.com. If you have a direct question, you can email my admin, tasha@boomingeye.com, TASHA. Or you can always find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, Booming Eye Healing Arts, or you can also look up Kate Moriah. You can find me that way.
And definitely friend Kate, because she has all these cool things. On Tuesday, she has Talk at You Tuesday, and she's got a lovely little dog and kitty, and it's just fun to watch what she gets into. So Kate, I just thank you all so much, and you especially.
Thank you so much. This has been a joy.
All right. Okay, everybody, have a good day.